Yo, I'm Bevan, and this is Bevan Wonders, where I document my running journey. I'm a new runner, and I'm going from 0 to half marathon. And we're in the middle of my half marathon training. Today is a 5k easy run. This week, I'm on a recovery week, so my runs are shorter this week. I've got 2 5Ks, one with strides and then one without strides, and then my long run will be 8k, and then I suppose that the training kicks in. It's just 5k today, where I'll be trying to run in heart rate 2 or a low pace, conversational pace, where I'm just able to get the miles or the kilometers in my legs. So we're on the first kilometer, and usually I will talk about this first kilometer, how it feels, but today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm actually going to talk about my running journey. So it's almost 6 months to the day that my running journey started, but it didn't actually start running. Actually started walking. The route I'm running now is the route I used to run, and I've said many times why I take this route and why I run it, mainly because it's continuous and there's no traffic, so I don't get stopped by cars, and because I roughly know the distance. So it's a good way for me to time myself when walking. Before I actually started running, I spent around 6 weeks walking. I'd say around between 8,000 and 10,000 steps a day. And the first 3 days were tough, but as it got on, it got a bit easier. And I said to my friends, one of these days I'm going to run up the hill that I'm walking up. The first time I tried to run the hill was a failure. I thought I was just going to get out there and for the sheer willpower, just run. Well, halfway up the hill, my legs said stop, my head said stop, so I stopped. But I continued walking. A couple of weeks later, after a family challenge of 4 weeks of doing 10,000 steps a day, my sister said, let's do catch the 5k. No one to me undone. I'll have a challenge. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. But I've got to start now. Because if I wait 2 weeks, 2 weeks will have gone, and then I'll be 2 weeks behind where I should have been. So I started the catch the 5k, and what I didn't do was incorporate it into my walk. I ran the route that I would walk up, and it meant that sometime during the catch the 5k training I would have to run up this hill. If you've not done it, catch the 5k starts off as a run walk program, so it's just something you can ease your way into, and as you get fitter it becomes more challenging, but in line with the fitness they've already built up. What I did was look at the plan that I was going to follow and look ahead to see how the runs were going to be and how they'd increase to. So I looked ahead and found that in week 5 I'd be running continuously for 20 minutes. There'd be no more walk running, just be straight running. So you do think, how am I going to do this in 5 weeks? But the training program, if you follow it correctly, will get you running and will put the fitness in your legs. And that's why I'm so passionate about the Catch the 5K. The 20-minute run that you get on week 5 seems quite daunting. Any plan I look at where I think the turning point is going to be, so mentally I can kind of get ready for it. So that's why I looked at that last week program. I mean, there were some runs in the middle of it, but when you're going from 1 minute of running to 2 minutes of running to 5 minutes to 8 minutes, it seems quite manageable. But then when you're jumping from 8 minutes to 20 minutes, you think, wow, that's a big jump. But when you break that run down, really, when you do the 8-minute run, it's kind of 2 blocks of 8 minutes. Either side, I think it might be about 5 minutes of walking. So you're doing 16 minutes of running. Doing 16 minutes of running, so really, you're only adding on 4 minutes of running. That's when you think about it, it's continuous movement. But the fact that you are continually moving for around 20 minutes anyway, in planning the running and the walking, then it just becomes a bit more of a mental thing. Probably getting too technical into this for me to explain why I'm doing what I love, like Catch the 5K. But really, what it was is that when I completed that 20-minute run, it let me know that I could run 5K. I tried to run the 5K in half an hour, and it was only when I got to running for 25 minutes that I realised it's not necessarily about running 5K in half an hour. It's about running for half an hour straight, and that's the most important thing. When you can run for half an hour straight, whatever time you get, even if you get to 3K in half an hour, you gotta think, okay, if I run for another 10 minutes, I'll get to 4K. And you just build it up in the same kind of way. You'll just add on 2 minutes of running to your runs each week. Maybe that if you get to 30 minutes, then next week you might do 33. Then the week after that, you might be 36.5. But so you're slowly increasing in the same way you did before. And as you get fitter, you'll get faster. As you go slower, you'll get faster as well. So take your time. A 20-minute run made me realise that I could run for half an hour and I could do 5K. 2 days into my 5K, I told my friends I'm going to run a 10K, and I set my time for 10 weeks after I completed my Couch to 5K, and it was that 20-minute run that let me know that I was going to be able to do it, simply because I was able to complete a solid run for that length of time. The program isn't a magic formula. You've got to put in the effort. The effort that you put in is the results that you're going to get back. And I know that sounds cliche, but it is true. If you're out there consistently 3 times a week to putting in those runs, you'll get the rewards that you are looking for. When I tell people about my running, they'll tell me that, I can't run if there's not a ball in front of me. To some extent I hear it, because I used to think people that ran are crazy. It was only when I first discovered runner's high that I realised this is why people do it. Because if you could bottle runner's high and sell it, you would be a billionaire, because that feeling is something that you can't, it's indescribable, really. For me, it is anyway, and I've tried to describe it to people, but I don't know if I've got the words to do it justice. It's like euphoria in a bottle. It's like a sense of calm, peace and tiredness all rolled into one, and you just feel so light and so free. Well, there you go, done my best, probably still not good enough, but either way, that was enough to get me running. I think it was a run I did early doors of the Catch the 5K of running for 5 minutes. I think it was 3 lots of 5 minutes I had to do that day, and by the last one, I was like, oh my god, this is why people run. I messaged my friend and I said to him, you've been a runner for the last 4 years and you've never told me about this. Why are you keeping it to yourself? And that's another reason why, for me, on the day, nearly 6 months to the day of me starting my running journey, which started by walking, I ran a 5K, and the fact that I completed my first 5K around 3 months ago, and now I'm running beyond 5K, but I believe if it wasn't for me starting that program, I don't know if I would have fallen in love with running the way that I have So if you're new to running, try try the Couch 5K, because it will teach you things about yourself. You will learn about being resilient. You will learn about pushing through when things get tough. You will get fitter. You will get runners high, and you will fall in love with running. Put your shoes on. Let's go.